Welcome to Everyday Profits, where we talk mindset, abundance, wealth creation, and building the life of your dreams. Hello, how are you going? Back again to share a quick message on my thoughts on what it's like to have a wealth mindset. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've been out here in the garden this morning, and as you can see, it is very, very windy here today, so hopefully this records okay. So what I wanted to really share with you this morning is just to inspire you, especially if we're facing really, really difficult times. I want to really encourage you to remember that no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you are still going to make it. And that's what I really want to encourage you with today, is just to remind you that there is so much more out there than what we can see in our own little sphere. And this is the thing, no matter what goes on in our life, no matter what turmoil we are facing, no matter what struggles life wants to throw at us, no matter how hard it gets or how bad it gets or how bad it is, you are still going to make it. And that's what I wanted to really encourage you with and inspire you with today, to see beyond the here and now. There is a saying that we know so well. It's actually classed as a biblical saying, but it's not biblical at all. But the words are, "This too shall pass," and that is such a strong tagline, I guess you could call it, to take with us every single day, because every single day there's always something that's going to come up that's going to want to make you fall flat on your face, so to speak. That's want to make you collapse in a heap and say, "I'm done with it. I'm so over everything. I want to walk away." But remember, this too shall pass, and no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you are still going to make it. We are still going to plug on regardless of what goes on. So let me give you some little bit of context. In our podcast, and when I say our podcast, I'm talking about Invest Out West that my husband and I do together. We talk on there about our investment strategies and what we've got going on with where we're buying, what we're doing, and the whole market sphere overall. We call it Invest Out West because we do invest in a lot of property in sort of Western Queensland at this point, so we don't focus on capital cities. But in our latest episode on Invest Out West podcast, we went through a story of how just this year, so back in March, we got scammed through trying to buy a truck. And so I'm recording this in the middle of May of 2026, and so we got scammed trying to buy a truck. And when we were in the midst of all that, when we lost that, it was a significant amount of money that we lost in that deal. It is so hard to see beyond the moment. All you want to do is sit down and bawl your eyes out and blame everybody else and say, "Why me? Why am I targeted?" All the doubt and all the fear and all the sadness wants to crop up. But ultimately, we come out of that because we remembered that this too shall pass. What we realized is that experience that we were going through at that time was simply our turn. It was simply our turn to get scammed. And of course, it's given us a lot more of a broader context now of how, the scam economy works. It is mind-blowing, and how easy it is for people to get trapped in that, as we did. And we are very, very, very religious in our due diligence and in ticking all of our boxes, but we still got trapped. And so it's really, really important to remember that no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you are still going to make it. And here we are, we're out the other side of that, so to speak. We've closed off that chapter in our life. We closed down our loan, we paid out the money, and we've walked away, and we said, well, yeah, we're going to cop this loss on the chin, we're going to take the experience, and we're going to share that story with others, okay? And so it's really, really important to remember that no matter, the darkest days that we face, that this too shall pass, and you are still going to make it. And I really want to encourage you to consider that, because we all have the opportunity to continue to push through, and that's what we need to do. No matter what the circumstances is that we're facing, we still need to push through. And when we're in a sphere of building wealth, the biggest thing that holds everybody back from building their own wealth pot, building their own portfolio, building their own retirement, their own financial freedom, whatever term you like to use, is fear. And fear is the most biggest debilitator we can ever have in our lives. I'm quite sure of it. Fear just stops us. Fear has so much power over us. And yet when we push through that fear and when we come out the other side, you say, well, that wasn't quite so bad after all. And when you put yourself into a position of I will succeed, the fear has no control over you and over your life and over your ambitions. And so I really want to encourage you to always remember that we have to push through. If we have a purpose in life, which we all should have our own purpose in life, we have to push through. And again, I will say it again, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you are going to make it. And this is the thing, life just constantly throws us curveballs, but are we going to let them curveballs hit us and knock us down? Or are we going to catch them and throw them back? And are we going to really, use that curveball as leverage? And remember, when life throws a curveball at you, you are going to make it. Nothing will stop you. I want you to really focus on the determination that nothing will stop you, no matter what comes your way. When you are building a portfolio, when you're building wealth for yourself, nothing will stop you. You will make it. Get that image into your mind that this is what I want for my life, and write it down every single day in present tense. Write it down. Write down the house that you want to own. Write down the investment that you want to own. Write down the share portfolio that you want to hold. Write it down, okay? Write down, how many houses do you want to own? If you're looking at investment properties, how many houses do you want to own by a certain date? Write it down in the present tense, okay? It is extremely powerful, because what that does is it puts it out there to the universe, let's call it, and it gives you power within yourself to push through. So when you do face tough times, you think, no, these tough times, that's not my goal. That's just a curveball along the way, and let's catch this curveball and let's throw it back and let's keep striving for our goals. And the last thought that I wanted to leave you with is to say that you've got to do what you can where you are with what you have. Okay, so what do you have today that you can start to build your, like your freedom with? Like, what can you do today to build, even if it just starts with a mindset thing? What can you do today to start to build your mindset, to grow, even in your education, in your self-resilience? Like, what can you do today to ultimately move yourself towards the life of your dream? And everything in life, it seriously and wholeheartedly, it really comes back to our mindset. How do we portray something? How do we see it? How are we letting things impact our life? Because it comes back to mindset. And what I find is you've got to be so careful with the way that you hear things. So say, for example, in Australia here, we've just had our latest budget come out by our government. And let's just say, from an investments perspective, it is a very, very bad budget. We will actually release a podcast on this on Invest Out West today at this stage. It is a very, very bad budget from an investment point of view. But it's just a curveball. How can we catch the curveball, and how can we change? Sometimes we've got to change our directive, our perspective, even sometimes our strategy. But it's about finding a way. That curveball is not going to knock us down. That curveball, we're going to catch it and we're going to throw it back. And this is the thing. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how bad, higher forces, the government, even close forces, friends and family, and even yourself, no matter how bad all that gets, you are still going to make it. And that's what I really wanted to encourage you with today, is just to inspire you to remember that you are going to make it. And no matter how bad it gets, you are still going to make it. Instill that thought in your mind. And even you can write it down every single day. Write it out. No matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it gets, I am going to make it. And you're going to make it to whatever goal and ambition you have for yourself. Okay, so I hope this has inspired you on your journey to having a wealth mindset. I would leave it there. I hope you have a beautiful day and keep living the dream. See you later.